What is up, guys? And this is the first video of the rant videos that will be happening every day. Because I asked my server, do they want to see me do a rant every day, and they said yes. So this will be the beginning of that until the end of the year, until the end of the year 2025, obviously. But I will tell you how these rant videos work. It's not going to always be about the NFL. It's going to be about different sports, or even something about life I could probably help people in. Because I don't understand what these people be doing in life or in the NFL, what their dumb decisions sometimes, and that includes me because I'm not always right myself. But everything is gonna be in my opinion and how I think stuff should be said or what should be said about these rants. But let's go ahead and get started with the first rant today. The first rant is gonna be about the QBs in the NFL this year and how they played, in my opinion. And who's not getting talked about enough, and who's getting talked about too much, and they need to get off the wagon. Now, here's the first quarterback I want to start with. You guys already know I'm gonna come at this dude CJ Stroud. This dude CJ Stroud has been phenomenal. I have watched him at Ohio State. I said he was better than Bryce Young, but the Bryce Young has a problem that's not even on him. He just has no team. And don't sit here and say that the Texans had no team either. The Texans had a decent team. They just needed the coaching and the quarterback. But back to CJ Stroud. CJ Stroud literally almost beat #1 Georgia with all those draft picks with his quarterback play. His quarterback play was phenomenal even in that game. I like CJ Stroud, and I already knew CJ Stroud was going to prosper. I just didn't expect him to do this. He just went off. I mean, he had the best game as a rookie at the quarterback position. 5 touchdowns, no picks against the vaunted defense Buccaneers. So CJ Stroud, you earn my respect. You get an A+ this year. I don't know if anyone is hating on CJ Stroud, then you just have a problem with the Texans or something. But because I don't know what you can hate about the dude. The dude's been playing out of his mind. Outside his injury at the end of the season, he's been playing really good. He even played good in against the Colts in a win or go home situation. So please give CJ Stroud some respect. I mean, I don't understand why you wouldn't. All right, but let's go on to the next quarterback. Next quarterback I want to talk about is Dak Prescott. Because the problem I have with Dak Prescott is that people talk about him too heavily, but they don't keep that same energy when he performs at the level he performs at. The dude has been playing at a high level all season, and no one has said anything really about it. They cannot wait until the playoffs to clown this dude so hard. If Dak was, let's say if Dak was to drop this Packers game next week, if he drops this Packers game next week, they're going to clown him until next year. They never let this man get off the hook. They just never don't. And I have a problem with that because there's a lot of quarterbacks that do worse than what Dak Prescott does, and they don't say anything about it. I just hope Dak Prescott at least gets him to the NFC Championship this year to prove a lot of haters wrong, because the dude's been playing out his mind, and I honestly think this is his best year since his rookie season, because obviously his rookie season was his crazy year where they went 13-3 even though they fell in the first round to the Packers. It's ironic because they play them again, and it's the same situation. The Packers being not trusted to win this game, and the Cowboys having home field advantage and being the best home team once again. It's really ironic. It's the same thing in 2016. Hopefully the same outcome won't happen. Hopefully Dak will get it done this time. But if y'all gonna talk all that trash out in the offseason about getting rid of Dak Prescott and stuff, you better keep that same energy when he backs it up. And I hope the Cowboys pay him. If the Cowboys don't pay him, then I hope you become last in that division with the Commanders. Let me talk about the next quarterback, Brock Purdy. I cannot stand when people say that Brock Purdy is a system quarterback. System quarterbacks don't make the throws Brock Purdy makes. I'm sorry. Brock Purdy has the most 20-yard completions downfield. And don't say it's because he has Deebo Samuel and George Kittle or Brandon Ayuk. I mean, this dude, he's making some tight ass throws, and he is not getting credit for it. You can have the skill talent at the position of receiver and tight end, but the quarterback still has to make the tight window throws and stuff. It's not rocket science. Jimmy G does not make the throws Brock Purdy makes. I'm sorry, he just don't. Brock Purdy has outplayed this man in both of his first 2 years as a starter than Jimmy G as a starter in San Francisco. Jimmy G's best year was 2019, and he wasn't even that good in 2019. He threw 27 touchdowns and I think 14 picks in 2019. when they went 13-3 and made the Super Bowl that year, the Niners. I may have to recheck that later, but system quarterbacks don't do what Brock Purdy's doing. That's all I'm gonna say about that system quarterback jump. So the system quarterback notion is ridiculous, and to say that any quarterback can be on the Niners and have his and play like the way Brock Purdy's saying is atrocious. Brock Purdy's stats are really high right now, especially with his completion percentage and touchdowns and ratio. It's ridiculous. Stop with the system quarterback notion when it comes to Brock Purdy. It's ridiculous, because if any quarterback would have been able to fit the system, why did Trey Lance not fit the system? Why? Why couldn't Trey Lance fit the system if any quarterback can fit the system? Why couldn't Sam Darnold beat our backups? I'm a Rams fan, by the way. Why couldn't Sam Darnold beat our backups yesterday with the 49ers backups? The 49ers have a better backup team than we do. There was a reason they were favored by 4 in this game. It's not surprising. Why couldn't they beat us? The 49ers have always had a better scheme to beat the Rams over the past few years. Why couldn't Sam Darnold do it? And don't say it's because Carson Wentz was 3-0 as a starter. That is not the reason why. That has nothing to do with anything. Because he just came back from the couch too. He's a backup now. A good quarterback. You're not giving him any credit. Him and Dak Prescott probably get the most hate in this league, and it's ridiculous. Now the quarterback. There's another quarterback I want to talk about. I want to talk about Matthew Stafford, especially Matthew Stafford, because a lot of y'all were saying that he should retire after he had a spinal cord contusion, which I say possibly because of his career-ending injury. But that's not the reason y'all told him to retire. Y'all told him to retire because he sucked, because he played behind one of the worst offensive lines in the history of the NFL. Maybe the worst, because we had the most offensive line changes. No Cooper Kupp, no Allen Robinson. Just got Van Jefferson back from injury, not healthy. The only person we had healthy that year was Cam Akers. And y'all want Stafford to play behind an injured team and have a great season to back our 2021 Super Bowl year. I mean, the Rams had 23 players on IR. This is worse than the 2020 49ers. Y'all were giving the 49ers a pass when they had all those injuries in 2020. Why can't y'all do the same thing with the Rams? Why? Y'all want to give all the 49ers these passes for what they had in 2020, but don't want to give the Rams a pass for the exact same thing? You're telling our quarterback to retire when he came back and had an outstanding year this year. Had a really good year. He started off shaky. He actually started off shaky. I mean, good. Then went down shaky because he got injured in the Colts game. Then got injured again before the Packers game. I think it was against the Steelers. He was already injured going into the Steelers game. The dude was facing injuries. The Colts game to the Steelers game before the bye, he was facing injuries. When he came back from the bye, healthy, with a Cooper Kupp too, fitting the scheme, because Cooper Kupp he was messing up the scheme when he came back early. He wasn't healthy himself, fully healthy. I mean, he was 100%. You could tell. He was messing up the scheme too, but when Stafford came back healthy, he looked like a completely different quarterback. The dude's been playing out his mind. The Rams are 7-1 in their last 8 games. But y'all don't want to give the Rams any credit for that. Or is it 6-1? Whatever. We don't want to give the Rams, Sean McVay or Stafford, any credit for what they done. You telling Sean McVay that he was going to leave the Rams and go do a different job, and telling Stafford that he was going to retire. It's real funny that y'all don't keep that same energy. I told y'all that neither of them were going anywhere. And I told you last year that last season was a fluke due to injury. I mean, what do you want the dude to do? Mahomes he can't even do good with the team he has this year, and he has an offensive line. If Mahomes played behind our offensive line, he'd be done, because he gonna be the next quarterback I talk about next. Because it is funny how the media rides him so much, and he has not done nothing this year. I don't understand. Apparently, you can play so bad and still get the praise he does. Let's go ahead and get to him, by the way. Patrick Mahomes. I understand your receivers have not been good. We get that. That goes back to why did you get rid of Juju? Why? I don't understand why y'all thought getting rid of Juju was the reason was a good idea. Because wasn't he the reason that y'all won the Super Bowl? Even though it was a flag? Wasn't he the reason y'all won the Super Bowl that year? Because you wasn't the reason y'all won the Super Bowl. I mean, the Eagles just gave off free touchdowns, busting coverage 3 or 4 times in that game. I mean, it was either him or the Eagles defense. So You didn't re-sign Juju. Then you make all these excuses for Patrick Mahomes. If this was a different quarterback, y'all would not be saying this. Every time Mahomes have a bad game, oh, it's the receivers. Oh, the Chiefs just lost again. They just sold. It's always someone else. We never blame Mahomes for the situation. But if it's Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, or Matthew Stafford, it goes on them. Because everyone was saying last year, it was Matthew Stafford's fault when he had no team. He had no starters to play behind before he got his spinal cord contusion against the New Orleans Saints that year. Y'all were calling Lamar a running back. You was calling Dak Prescott a fraud, which he still is technically. But he's been playing out his mind, and y'all have not kept that energy for none of those three quarterbacks. None of those three quarterbacks. All three of those quarterbacks are really good this year, and y'all have not kept that same energy. Where is that energy? Where is that energy? Lamar is about to be the MVP. Dak is about to be a top three quarterback in the playoffs, and so is Matthew Stafford in the top 5. No, I don't see y'all keeping that same energy though. Where is that energy level and that y'all had in the offseason, and that is not here? Where's the energy level at? Because apparently it's not here. It's not. I mean, like, if you're gonna do this to all these quarterbacks, keep it real with Mahomes too, because Mahomes hasn't been playing well even with his receivers dropping the ball. I mean, this is ridiculous. Mahomes has been horrible, not horrible, but awful this year. Nowhere, all his stats are down, and it's not completely on his receivers. It's on him too. Yes, we know the Chiefs have the most drop passes in the league, but some of the throws from Mahomes have not been great either. I'm not gonna sit there and say that MVS didn't drop the game winner, because he did. He dropped the game winner against Philadelphia. Yeah, Philadelphia. But what about the Raiders game that y'all lost 2 weeks ago? Was that not on Mahomes? The Raiders didn't even score an offensive touchdown, and they beat you. Like, when are we going to start holding Mahomes accountable? When? Are we just not going to hold him accountable at all? Let's go to Josh Allen now, because I can't wait to tear him apart. This dude is always at the top, leading the league in turnovers. I don't understand why he does not get talked about. Y'all want to talk about Dak Prescott being a fraud in the playoffs? Josh Allen does the same thing with super teams. Obviously, Buffalo this year is not a super team, but the last few years they've been frauds. The first year when they got there, they made the AFC Championship and got destroyed by the Chiefs. The second year, you made a divisional round and you lost to the Chiefs fair and square. And they changed the rule because you just had to be a crybaby about it. There's been games in overtime where a team has got the ball and won off a touchdown and won off the coin toss practically. Oh, but the week after that, the Bengals lose the coin toss but win the game. This proves that Josh Allen and the Bills are babies. Proves my point. And then the next year, recently, the year before, you lose to the Bengals at your own home. You got destroyed 27-10. You didn't score a single point in the second half. Your offense was horrible. And don't say because of weather conditions. The Bengals play in the weather conditions too. And matter of fact, the weather conditions favor you because you have the home field advantage. And y'all play more in the cold than the Bengals do. Like, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen are the most non-talk about quarterbacks that have been playing like trash this year. And the reason why I'm getting on Josh Allen, even though he has 44 total touchdowns, those 20-something interceptions a year are going to keep you from winning a Super Bowl. The reason the Bills are not winning a Super Bowl already is not because of who they play. It's not because of the Chiefs. It's because of Josh Allen. He turns the ball over so much that is going to cost you a playoff game. That cannot happen. You cannot be turning the ball over 2 or 3 times in the playoffs thinking you're going to win a Super Bowl. It's just not going to happen, buddy. I'm sorry. And here's a great example of this. Stafford led the league in interceptions in 2021, right? The dude only had 2 picks that were on him in the playoffs. He had no picks in the Cardinals game, no picks in the Bucks game, 2 picks in the Niners game. No, he only had 1 pick in the Niners game. My fault. Only 1 pick in the Niners game, 2 picks in the Super Bowl. And 1 wasn't his fault because it bounced off Skoronek's hands because the dude decided to pop it up in the air to the other team. He did an arm punt to Jesse Bates in the Super Bowl. I would blame that 100% on Stafford because he always underthrows it to Van Jefferson. He always does that. So I'll blame that on him, and I'll blame the Niners pick because he tried to force it in the cup in the red zone when you should have just did something else. It was obvious that you were going to cup. You always did that year. But outside those two picks, he didn't turn the ball over. That's how you win Super Bowls. You don't win Super Bowls turning the ball over too many times. You just don't. The Bills will never win a Super Bowl with this dude turning the ball over this many times. I'm not saying Josh Allen can't improve with his turnovers and taking care of the ball. That's not what I'm saying. But right now, until he shows me that he can stop with the turnovers, I do not trust him in the playoffs. I got Pittsburgh winning that playoff game, by the way, too. Because the last time you played Pittsburgh with a quarterback that could move the ball, you lost. Ben Roethlisberger, 23-20. Don't forget it. And they are hot right now with Mason Rudolph. I would not be surprised if he takes them into Buffalo and upsets you. I would not be surprised. Do not count me surprised if the Pittsburgh Steelers win that game. Do not. Because Josh Allen, against good defenses and just random defenses in general, he just finds a way to get the other team the ball. I don't understand why. Dude, it's just not good with protecting the football. I need to see more of taking care of the football from Josh Allen for me to say that I want him as my quarterback in the playoffs. I need to. Like, I just don't. I cannot trust a quarterback that turns the ball over that many times. Because he has a cannon of an arm. But that doesn't matter when you can't take care of the ball. That does not matter. You was one turnover last night from being tied with Sam Howell. One turnover. You would have turned the ball over one more time. Because you had 3 turnovers last night. 2 picks and a fumble loss. One more fumble or an int would have tied you with the league leading interceptions once again. His first 4 or 5 years, however long he's been playing the game, he has been a turnover machine. That has got to stop. I gave him a pass for his rookie season. The Bills were not good in his rookie season and his second season. I gave him a pass for that season because I thought he had confidence. I thought he could stop it. He just keeps doing it. The dude is a turnover machine. That man is worse than Jared Goff with these turnovers. I called Jared Goff a turnover machine all the time when he was our quarterback with the Rams before he got traded to Detroit. How in the world do you have that many turnovers? He has like 100-something turnovers in 5 seasons. That is too many turnovers. That is like 30 turnovers a season. That is not good. You cannot win a Super Bowl like this. And they will not win a Super Bowl unless he stops the turnovers. If Josh Allen can clean up the turnovers in the playoffs this year, I will take Buffalo seriously. If not, I can't. I got to see something against Pittsburgh first. I've got to. Because Pittsburgh has one of the greatest defenses in the league. So, I think if Josh Allen is able to carve him up, I may change my mind about him. But right now, you know what my mind could be made up on him. The dude is going to lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's going to give the ball away 2 or 3 times to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's not what you do. You cannot turn the ball over against this team. This team is too good at executing off the turnovers because they're hot right now. You do not turn the ball over on a team that's really hot. So we'll see how that goes if you throw 3 interceptions or just have 3 turnovers in general against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is there any more quarterbacks I want to talk about before I end this video? Because I think I'm talking about the main ones that get disrespected and get talked about too much when they don't need to be talked about at all. Oh yeah, one more. I want to talk about Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts with his turnovers, he's just like Josh Allen this season. Look, the Eagles when they were even 10-1, I didn't even trust them because let me tell you why. You was one MVS catch from losing the Chiefs. You was one Josh Allen miscommunication with Gabe Davis away from losing that game. I mean, I don't know why everybody's surprised that the Eagles are this bad. They have not been dominant all season. When they played the 49ers, they got broke. That was it. The 49ers gave a blueprint on how to beat the Eagles. And now the big Eagles have been trash since. That has nothing to do with what was it? It doesn't do with the what was it? What they was doing before then. 10-1, you can be 10-1 all you want to, but if you don't back it up after, and you want to wait to the late season to crumble, you are going to be frauds, and you are going to lose to Tampa Bay. Repeat, you're going to lose to Tampa Bay next week. And if Tampa Bay finds a way to drop this game to the Philadelphia Eagles, they are getting clowned. because there is no reason for them to be dropping this game to the Philadelphia Eagles. If the Giants can beat the Eagles right now, you have no excuse. Giants have a problem beating the Eagles. If the Cardinals can beat the Eagles, you have no problem beating the Eagles. If you cannot beat the Eagles, and the reason I'm saying this because they played a division game. I understand that. It may be the 2-15 Panthers, but it's still a division game. They won 9-0. I'm not too mad about it. But if you cannot beat the Philadelphia Eagles with no Jalen Hurts now, because I think Jalen Hurts is out. I think he's done because of the finger injury. If you cannot beat the Philadelphia Eagles, who've been trash, you are considerably trash, and I don't even know what to say about the Buccaneers. I also want to get to Baker Mayfield because he's been playing great this season. I also want to get to Baker Mayfield too, because I did think I said the Buccaneers because I would have been done with the quarterbacks. But I want to go. Let's stick to Jalen Hurts. You've only had 7 turnovers all year. Last year when you made your Super Bowl run, you have 20-something, almost 20-something turnovers. You were literally in the train of Josh Allen, Sam Howell, and Trevor Lawrence. Those are turnover machines. You just joined the turnover machines this year. I don't know what the problem is in Philadelphia, but it needs to be addressed. AJ Brown always complaining about the ball. I mean, dude, you're the receiver one. A receiver one should never be complaining about the ball unless he's not getting passed to enough. And I think he's getting passed to enough to where they can win the game. I mean, if you're winning the game, stop complaining, bro. I mean, and the dude has not, and he's been fumbling recently too. AJ Brown has been fumbling. He fumbled in the Giants game. He fumbled in the Cowboys. I mean, he just can't hang on to the ball. How are you this physical and you fumbling the ball this much? And you keep begging for the ball. You're almost as big as a diva as George Pickens. I'm not even going to talk about Devontae Smith because he, even though he did fumble too against the Cowboys, he got nothing to do with this. He just trying to play the game of football and try to do what he can to help his team. He can't. But Jalen Hurts, dude, the turnovers got to stop. I don't understand why. What is making you turn the ball over this much? I mean, I'm guessing it's coaching because when both of your coaches left, when y'all went 16-4, and that includes the playoffs too. So when y'all went 16-4, both of your coaches left. You did lose to your former coach in Arizona, by the way. I think Gannon was defensive coordinator, was he, or was he offensive coordinator? I'm not sure. But he was still one of your coordinators. And I don't know where the other one went. I don't know. I think it was the Colts head coach. I'm not sure. But it doesn't matter. Either way, you lost your coordinators. This proves coaching matters, once again. I've been trying to tell people about this. Coaching matters. And since Jalen Hurts has lost both those coaches, he has not been a good quarterback. He has not been a good quarterback all year. He just hasn't. He has too many turnovers. And everybody wants to talk about, well, he has 38 touchdowns. From the touch push. Congratulations. If everybody knew exactly how to scheme the touch push, and the reason why other people can't do it is because Nick Sirianni knows how to do it. No one just knows how to do it like they do. It's not rocket science. It's part of their scheme. If everybody had a scheme of how to do the touch push, it'd be abused in the NFL. It'd be abused. It has nothing to do with Jalen Hurts benching 600 pounds. That has nothing to do with anything. He practically has one of the best lines in the league, and is turning the ball over this much. They have one of the best physical lines in the league. I don't understand why people are acting like well, he benched 600 pounds. He's being pushed into the end zone. That has nothing to do with him squatting. He just has to get pushed by his strong offensive line and Jason Kelsey in that direct center in the middle for the touchdown every time. And you're only getting 1 yard every time anyways. It's not that difficult, especially if you know how to scheme it perfectly like Nick Sirianni. But Jalen Hurts has just not been good, especially the second half of the season. The only pass I gave him was when he was sick against Seattle. And even then, I don't even know then because he just threw 2 interceptions that were questionable. But even then, when you're sick, you just don't feel well. And I just got to give him a pass on that. But I can't give you a pass on the rest of these games. You just haven't been playing well. You just haven't. I mean, what do you want me to say about Jalen Hurts? I need better play from you, bro. For me to put you back in my top QB list. I mean, you're just not there. You're not even in my top 10 right now. Because you've been playing so bad with these turnovers. Right now, Jalen Hurts ain't there. Now, the last quarterback I want to talk about is Baker Mayfield because he's been throwing around And our team doesn't really count because we just need a QB at this point. We had no team, no injuries. I mean, no QB because due to injuries. We lost both of our quarterbacks a year, and then we had to just find a replacement. And Baker Mayfield decided to be our replacement. But when we let him go to Tampa, the dude's been great. He's had, I think he has 30 something touchdowns. He's been playing great. And you can say what you want to about his division, but he's been playing great football against some good teams. But I want to see him in the playoffs against Philadelphia. I want to see him back it up. I know he has a rib. I think he's questionable still, a rib problem, but he's been playing great all season. He is also the first quarterback to put up a perfect QBR, or the rating, whatever it was at Lambeau Field. That's never been done until Baker Mayfield stepped foot on that field that day. So you cannot be hating on Baker this much. I never really hated on him. He was just trash, but when he was on Cleveland, but that's probably, once again, that's probably because of coaching. And I didn't really say nothing about him on Carolina because the dude was just garbage. I couldn't really say nothing about him on the Rams because he had no team to play behind. All these situations, there has always been another problem with Baker Mayfield. He didn't have the coaching properly. The Panthers are a disaster. They need a whole rebuild. They need to fire everybody at that dang building at that point. And the Rams, he went to an injured Rams team. Even though he had Sean McVay as his coach, he had good coaching. Dude had no players to play with. So I wasn't even hating on Baker. I was hoping he'd do the best he could because he didn't really have nothing to work with when we had that many injuries that year. So I was wishing him the best when he left our team, and he did. He's been really good this season with the Bucs. So I'll be watching him closely against the Philadelphia Eagles. I really hope he cooks the freak out of the Philadelphia Eagles because I'm tired of these Philadelphia Eagles being overrated. They need to get out of these playoffs. They have not been great since week 13 when they changed their defensive coordinator, demoted him, whatever they did to him. They've not been great since that week. So we'll see about the Eagles. I mean, not Eagles. We'll see about Baker Mayfield. I'm cooking them. That's all. I think that's all I gotta say about these quarterbacks. I mean, I don't know how long this rant is, but it's pretty. I know it's pretty long. Probably around 30 minutes. That area. I'm just going to say around 30 minutes. But these are the main quarterbacks I wanted to talk about because I'm just sick of the notion of disrespect to some of these quarterbacks. You want to overpraise these other quarterbacks, but they haven't done nothing. But you're not talking enough about these rookie quarterbacks and Baker Mayfield. I mean, you're not giving C.J. Stroud enough talking. They're talking more about Mahomes and Allen than C.J. Stroud and Baker Mayfield, the quarterbacks that are actually playing better than them. Like, come on. I need C.J. Stroud and Baker Mayfield to get more respect. They're not getting enough respect. They're just not. It's ridiculous. This is why I made this video. And I hope you guys have a great day. And I hope to see these QBs perform well. I don't think C.J. Stroud's going to be able to win the game, but I think he'll be able to perform well. Same with Baker Mayfield. I think they will actually win against the Philadelphia Eagles. I got them winning about 13, 16, somewhere around there. That range. That's how bad the Eagles are. So, but guys, have a great day, and I'll see you on tomorrow's rant on whatever I decide to do.